Why, hello there, fellow gamers. Today, we're playing a game. We're playing a game called Night Call. Now, this game, a noir game where you play as a taxi driver and you gotta solve a murder. Today, we're gonna solve that murder. Today, right here, right now, we're gonna start this, and we're playing it from start to finish. New game. Wasato? 1. Choose the investigation? Oh, fuck. Randomly pick an investigation no matter if solved or unsolved. Victims have all something in common and the motives seem clear, but which suspect could have done it? Balanced case, perfect for a first run. Oh, boys. You ready for this first run? We're doing it. We're doing the first run. Here we go. Choose the difficulty mode. Balanced, the way Nightcall is designed. Money will be easy to get by. The investigation will be easier. Every action will take less time. For a chiller experience, hard. If you want hell, let's go with balanced. Dot dot dot. Here? Sir, can you hear me? Or do I need to speak up? Yeah, speak up. Is this okay with you? Is my voice loud enough? Yeah. She takes it. Oh, it's a she. She takes a deep breath. Sir, you just spent 2 weeks in a coma. Oh, okay. The word bounces around your head. You need a moment to understand its meaning. Coma. The word scratches along your throat. Yes, you were the victim of an assault. The word resonates in your head. Victim. You are aware a serial killer is currently on the loose in Paris. You feel the contents of your stomach crawling up your throat. The judge, as the police call the killer, assaulted you. The bullet touched your liver, and in most circumstances, it would have been fatal. We chose to put you in an induced... Her voice becomes more distant, fades. You taste bile in the back of your mouth, your head is burning, you hear a whistle in one ear. Your fingers moved to your wound. Underneath the bandages, you can feel hard skin. It is incredibly painful. I'm sorry? Did they catch the judge? No. What about my passenger? I could say nothing? What about say nothing? The doctor is silent for a second. Or sorry, wrong voice. The doctor is silent for a second. A very awkward second. She hesitates. The police would like to see you as soon as possible to ask you some questions. After all, you're the only one who survived the judge. Noise in the hallway attracts your attention. You try to turn your head to no avail. You need to rest. She leaves the room. Her voice resonates in the hallway. I don't care. He's the only witness. Another female voice joins in, a strong, authoritarian voice. You can't clearly make up what she's saying. A strange feeling washes over you. It's not pain. It's not fatigue. Some odd combination of the two. Before being in this hospital room, you never realized anger was made up of a combination of pain and exhaustion. Anger. A feeling you know all too well. ... Days go by, and a month later. Night 1. We're here. It is the night.
Well, look, I've got a bit of a problem. A real problem, that is.
You have a pounding headache. It's your first night behind the wheel since the attack.
Are you listening to me?
You catch your boss's eye in the rear view mirror. Yeah. He stares at you for a second or two without speaking.
Sometimes I wonder what goes on inside your head. You always seem so far away.
Don't react. Like a stone cold badass. He's watching you closely, trying to make out what's going on in your head.
You know I'm worried about you, don't you?
I know.
You're like a son to me, you know.
I know.
And you know he's about to
Wrong voice. And you know he's about to tell you the story of his taxi fleet. Again.
When my father died and left me the store, I could have sold it. I could have retired, gone back to the old country. But I decided to start a cab fleet with the money he left me to hire the guys from the neighborhood. And that's why I've got 45 guys like you working for me.
His hands flutter in the air.
Though none of them are any match for you.
He smiles. His voice suddenly takes on a more serious note.
Do you want me to go over everything again?
He points to the equipment on the dashboard, the meter, the GPS. You haven't been in a taxi for weeks. Maybe you do need a little refresher. Yeah, good idea.
Right then, well, first the map. You spot potential customers and try to guess where they'll be going, and then you decide. When a customer orders a taxi, if there's no one else around, you have to go pick them up.
He shrugs.
That's the way it goes. It's business.
No problem.
The other fares, you look at the map and decide whether or not you want to take them. And then, you drive.
He flashes a quick, mechanical smile. You know it well. When he talks about work, he talks about work. That's all.
When your shift is over, we do the numbers and...
His voice trails off as if searching for the right words.
And that's all. It's pretty simple. There's no reason why you can't do it. Oh, right. No overtime. We're in France here, and there's our rules, regulations. You might not see it that way, but no one likes having a driver who hasn't slept for 24 hours.
He looks away. Something's been bothering him since he got into the cab.
Anyhow, you know the ropes. You get it. I know you're going to do a good job.
Let's not say anything. Let's be a badass.
Anyway, I'll let you get back to work. Every minute spent in your taxi is a minute lost.
He gives you a smile, half ironic, half serious. Have a good evening, bitch. Sarcasm in his voice is palpable.
Right, you have a good evening too.
You'll spend the rest of the night dealing with problems and drivers. You wonder how and when the guy ever gets any sleep. Your boss opens the door and exits the cab. You watch him cross the street and enter the fleet garage. A couple of colleagues are milling about. Taxis are coming and going. They all ignore you, consciously or unconsciously. You are branded. You sit there a moment, then turn the key in the ignition. The hum of the engine sends a tingle down your spine. It's impossible to describe how you missed that feeling. It's back to the night shift. Back to life. Despite the attack. Despite it all.
Oh fuck, we got a cat? Or is that a dog? What is that? Is that cat? That looks like a cat. We got fucking old man. We got fucking you. We got fucking ew. We got fucking you. Let's go to this cat. Fuck it. Here we go, boys. We're driving. You're cruising. Corky. Fair. Distance. That's not that far. Sure. Fuck it.
You pull up to the sidewalk and wait for your passenger. Since it looks like a no-show, you get out of the cab after a minute or two to smoke a cigarette. There's not much going on in this small town in the suburbs. There are a few apartments that still have lights on. A sweet scent hangs in the air. Eventually, you stub out your cigarette and get back into the car. You jump, startled. A cat has managed to slip into the cab. It's sitting on the back seat, staring at you intently. You sit there for a moment, considering whether or not to shoo it away. But just as you're about to wave your hand, the cat shifts positions, and a slip of paper falls from its collar. Pick up the paper. You pick up the piece of paper and unfold it. A fragment of the map of Paris. The Saint-Lazare train station. You turn your eyes slowly to the cat. He seems to be expecting an answer. Are you going somewhere? The cat tilts his head to the side, as if to say yes. You want to go to Saint-Lazare? The cat tilts its head again. Are you a dog? The cat slowly nods its head no. Your hands clutch the wheel tightly. What the hell is going on? You turn around to face the cat. Fine. Cash is cash. You let out a sigh. Okay, fine. You start talking to yourself in low tones as if to balance the conversation. Normal. This is all perfectly normal. You start the cab, but cast a glance at the cat behind you. You're the one who ordered the cab. You start to laugh. As minutes go by, you try to break the ice. Simple questions are probably best. Everything okay? Neither a yes or a no, more of a plaintive meow. You meeting someone? No, that's not it. The cat is staring at you. The conversation seems to bore him. You seem to be pretty well fed. Pretty strange, I must say. Someone hurt you? Plaintive meow. You sigh. Your owner? Another meow, but longer and deeper, more heartfelt. You nod your head. What happened? Was it a man? No answer. A woman? Was she mean to you? The cat seems to be uncertain. She had other cats? Cat gives you a look full of disbelief. No, it's not it, eh? You're independent. You like to be alone, right? Your owner is overly affectionate, then? The cat lets out a string of insistent meows. Touché. That's it. She is too affectionate? Is that why you are running away? The cat is watching you with a steady eye. You are sure you are on the right track? You have to be careful with people like that. They can suffocate you before you even know it. You nod your head. But you ran away. I meet lots of people like you. You stop short. But you are just a cat. You roll your eyes. Behind you, the cat lets out a quiet, reassuring meow. Let's go on. What I mean is, well, we don't even know we are in a cage. We prefer not to think about it. We are never fully aware of it. You look at the cat. I must be crazy. I'm talking to a... You shake your head. You point to the light in the distance. That's Saint Leazazer. We'll be there soon. A few yards later, you'll stop at the drop-off area in front of the station. The first train doesn't leave for another hour. Where are you going? The cat stares at you without making a noise. You know what? Let him go. Alright, come on. Time to say goodbye. You get into the cab and open the back door. A bill has appeared on the seat next to the cat. It is enough for the fare, and more. Well, you are full of surprises, aren't you? I won't ask where it came from. You smile and lean over to pet the cat. It leaps out of the car and darts between your legs. You could just make it out, its shape dashing up a flight of stairs and slipping between the bars of a gate. You get back in the car. I got an achievement. You look at yourself in the rearview mirror. Your features are heavy with fatigue. Your right eyelid is twitching. As you start the car, you remember you are allergic to cats, but you haven't sneezed once. You pull up at the station. Money received. Tip. Fucking hell yeah. We got 5 pennies. Or €5. What is like the pennies over there? I don't know. Take. Oh, boys. We've done it. Alright. Let's head to this bitch. See what she wants. We got 300 monies. Lucy Bazas and Amelie Prince. Put they Valio. Oh god, his name's in the 17th. Thanks. Fare 16 big ones. Distance 6.28 kilometers. Except the 2 women getting in the cab give you their address. They say nothing to you as you start the car. A faint scent of alcohol hangs in the air. They've been drinking. After a moment of silence, the younger of the 2 breaks the silence. So, what do you think? About him? Who else? Of course him, not the bar. Well, I'm not sure. A strange sound escapes her. She sighs. He seems pretty dumb. Dumb? How so? You know, dumb's a doornail, but all staring at himself in the mirror over the bar when he went to get drinks. But does that matter? No, not really. He's got a good body, good looking, lots of energy. He's got the sort of animal vibe, like a little like a panther. I really like that style. You really like that style? The passengers exchange a look. The older of the 2 gives her friend a smile. You know exactly what I mean. They reach for each other's hands in the back seat of the car, gestures full of tenderness. A moment's silence. The older woman clears her throat. What about you? What did you think of him? The young woman gives herself a minute to think. I don't know. He was heavy, too sure of himself, and he spent too much time at the gym. Did you get that bit about? Yeah, please. That innuendo about sexual performance. A short, mocking laugh escapes her. He was pretty heavy-handed with all his expertise on yoga and orgasms. True, though strong pelvic floor muscles can't hurt. Well, anyhow, he was all peachy. He should write a book, The Perfect Gift for Your Ex-Husband. They burst out laughing. When the laughter dies down, the younger of the two resumes talking in a more serious tone.
Anyhow, like I was saying,
She looked at her friend intently.
is it really that important? I mean, we're looking for a donor. Not a father, not a lover, not a guardian or a godfather. Nothing but a donor. Yeah, just a donor.
She casts a glance in your direction, conscious all of a sudden that they aren't alone in the cab. She goes on, lowering her voice.
Yes, but still, if he has been on a date, I think I would have been out there in 5 minutes flat. I do yoga. I meditate 6 hours a day. I went to Tibet to learn the ancient arts of... And serfdom did exist in Tibet before 1950s. I checked on Wikipedia. I don't even know who's talking anymore. I thought Buddhists were supposed to be curious and open-minded. He was like some old conservative dude in the body of a young Brad Pitt.
Pause again.
But like you were saying, does all that really matter?
Her friend nods. Two young women are lost in their respective thoughts.
You know, I'm not against that kind of stuff or anything. It's up to him if he wants to be a drag or follow that yoga and meditation bullshit. I don't have a problem with that.
She gives her girlfriend a reassuring look.
Anyhow, there's just no way any of that is going to be passed on to our daughter. Or our son.
Her friend flashes a big smile.
But it's going to be a girl. I can feel it. And yoga is not genetic.
We'll have to ask Dr. Vidal.
Yes, I bet he'd really love that. He'd think we're messing with him.
He said we could ask him anything.
He's going to take us for a couple of videos. Besides, impossible. Pompousness cannot be passed on to children.
The younger woman does not seem convinced and makes an exaggerated pout. So you're saying an ear for music, yes, that's passed on?
Exactly. Okay, so if you don't want to believe me...
She leans towards you all of a sudden.
Sorry to bother you, but see what we were just talking about?
Some of it.
No need to feel embarrassed or anything. We're talking out loud after all.
Her friend lets out a sigh.
Come on, leave him alone. I was just asking. Right, well, so... My wife and I are meeting potential donors in order to, conceive a baby.
Her partner rolls her eyes.
And we're wondering if you thought pretentiousness could be passed on to children. Genetically.
You give her a look in the rearview mirror and take a moment to answer. The question is so utterly absurd.
Leave him alone, Emil. He's a taxi driver, not a geneticist. Don't get all worked up about it. I'm just asking his opinion.
I'd say it's probably possible.
The taxi driver thinks there's a gene for pretentiousness and it can be passed on from parent to child.
She bursts out laughing. The younger passenger leans forward towards you.
Sorry. My partner doesn't mean anything by all that. We just had a bit to drink and it's the first time for us tonight. We're meeting donors.
You pull up to the client's address and cut the engine. Be embarrassed? Hey, I get it. No problem. The passenger seems relieved. I'm a cab driver. I'm used to all kinds of funny stuff.
I can imagine. Have you been driving a cab for long?
You avoid her eye. Yeah, you could say that. The passenger pays for the ride. She lets out a sudden guffaw and can't help adding,
anyhow, thanks for answering. Come on, Emil. That's enough.
As her friend tugs at her arm, Emil starts to mumble to herself.
I definitely think we should ask the doctor just in case. We need a second opinion.
You wait until the two women have entered the building, then start the car.
Nice. Money received, tip, profits, 24 fucking smackaroonies. Man, we're doing it today.
The door suddenly opens and a woman gets in the back seat.
Having a good night.
For a second, you freeze. It's one of the cops working on the judge's case. She grins at you. Her voice creaks. You remember seeing her at the hospital. Something already bothered you about her there. You know, it's actually pretty crazy. For weeks, I've been saying to myself there's something off about you. Something not so nice. I dug around, mulled it over, bugged all my fellow cops about it, because I was sure you lied to us. Let her keep going. She has a cold sneer on her face. But I'm going to be frank with you. She leans over to you. I don't think you're the judge. Nah, I just can't picture it. She squints like she's trying to make you out from afar away. Like you'd have gone to the extent of hurting yourself. Yeah, between us, it's a bit of a stretch. She stares at you. But not enough of a stretch for my chief to stop going on and on about you. Seriously, he talks about you all the time. If I didn't know, I think he had a crush on you. She smirks. No, I think he's more interested in your profile. In prison at 17, an icy chill fills your gut. And for murder, too. You open your mouth, but nothing comes out. Since you got out, you've kept a low profile, but you're lying about your name and your address. I checked. It's normal, you'd say. They get word of your time served. No loan for your permit. No lease for your car. Meaning no second chance at life. Her voice becomes softer, almost warm. I personally like guys who want a second chance. No, I like guys who fight for a second chance. Basically, I like guys who are willing to work for me. She leans forward, her shining cat-like eyes narrowing. My chief wants to go to the prosecutor with a first and last name, with evidence. Actually, knowing him, he's not so hot on evidence. So, I'll give you info. Victims, suspects, medical reports, some photos that are a bit... She makes a gagging noise. You have to be discreet. Keep it between you and me. Interrogate, ask questions, dig around. I'm not a cop. She shrugs. Don't worry. You're already keener than half the squad. And don't forget, I'm not asking you to make an arrest or deliver the killer wrapped up in a bow in front of the station, okay? You're no Batman. I'm sorry, I'm tired. You're just here to get me more information. She rummages around in her pockets for what it seems like forever. Here, take my card. I'll call you in 3-4 days just to check in. We'll chat. And I'll let you know if I have any new info. She takes on the didactic and paternalistic tone. I can't read. She was giving you a list of recommendations for the 100th time. Don't get caught. Don't get arrested. Also, I wouldn't recommend trying to leave Paris. I know what you look like, and I know who your friends are. You can either be the solution or the problem, my friend. She takes a minute to scan your face, your emotions. If I have to, I'll go check in on you-know-who. Her smile is biting. That reminds me. You know you've done time? You shake your head. She snickers. Oh, my little dirtbag, you cover your tracks well. Say nothing. She acknowledges your silence with a nod. Okay, I think you've got a handle on our little deal. Any problems? I turn you in. I'll send your picture to all my friends in the media and every asshole in Paris. Your picture with your name on it, your real name. Anyone close to you will have their places searched. They'll be put under house arrest, spend nights in jail. You have any idea how tense things are with that fucker's trial underway? You sigh. You know just what she's trying to get at. Come to think of it, your last names are almost the same. You could be brothers, actually. I'm nothing like that son of a bitch. I'm nothing like that terrorist. Say nothing. She takes on a serious tone, businesslike. I want to catch this killer personally. I want to drag him into court. Ruin his fucking life. With a bang. I can't watch this case. You got me, and neither can you, right? He ripped open your gut. You saw your own insides. You were in a coma. Yeah, you've lost plenty of reasons to want to get back at him. She furrows her brow. Yeah, I think you're actually going to do what I tell you to do. You investigate, ask questions, listen to all the rumors, and you come up with a list of suspects. She lays her head on the door handle and freezes. All right, and don't get fired. Without this cab, you're worth nothing to me. You glare at her. Say nothing. For what it's worth, it was a pleasure not to be interrupted every other minute. You can't imagine how much I missed that at work. She puts her hand up and you can hear the words behind it. This conversation never happened. I'll make sure you get more intel tomorrow. I'll find a way. Until then, not a word to anyone, obviously, not a word. The door opens, squeaks, and slams shut. Fucking bitch. You sit alone for a while, teeth clenched, dry-eyed, ears buzzing. Shit. On the back seat, the cop left a pile of papers. Shit. Key in the ignition, motor running. Radio on, crackles. You turn it off and start driving. Talking to passengers might unlock new documents and clues for your investigation. You will find them back at your studio after your shift. 6 clues discovered, available in your room. Oh, here we go, boys. We're in now. We're in. Only took us half an hour. You take a second to enjoy the silence of your studio apartment. Outside, the city is slowly waking up. You could still hear the hum of the taxi buzzing in your ears. You throw the files Bussett gave you on the table. On the wall you hung up the big corkboard where you used to pin up photos of your nephews. They've been gone since you got out of... Your plan is simple. Jot down all the pieces of evidence and connect them to the suspects. The guilty party won't necessarily be the one with the most evidence against them, but the one with the most compelling evidence against them. It's like you're building a story about each suspect, trying to understand their motives, understand how he or she got into this situation. ... You're suddenly overcome with the desire to sleep. You close your eyes, press your fingers to your eyelids, and let out a yawn. It's time to get moving on your investigation. Alright, let's see what we got here. We got fucking autopsy report, victim 4. Victim 3, killer case. We got the board. Given by Bousset. Hold to investigate the killer case. Autopsy report. Let's open this. 4 clues discovered. Alright, let's look at this here. Okay, so that's like a picture of something. We got this here. which gives us something. Let's open this up too. So we got picture of crime scene 2, which looks like a car. We got this there. How do we look at the next documents? Is that it? Check the board. Yeah, let's check the board. All right. Whoa. Okay. Message on crime scene 1. Justice. Cop. Justice. What is this? Killer's height. Message on crime scene 2. You deserve this. Weapon equal rare gun used in 70s. Killer knew the victims or researched them. Death equal execution. Height 179, 6'9", 7'5", 7'7". So none of these guys are. Killer's height is, what is that? Is that less than a 1m80? So it can literally be any one of these guys. It can be any one of them then. Okay. Retired cop, joined the police 1977, divorced from a judge. Born in French Antilles, moved to mainland France since 1976. Used in 1970s. Yeah, okay. So that could be one, so let's keep that there. Let's organize this a little bit. So this can be literally anyone. Let's move these ones over because we don't know about any of them yet. Let's see this one, which can be either of these guys. Crimes: homeless man with an unknown background. Briefly worked for Charles Bourgain, victim 2 in the 90s, got health issues after Ricktodin health scandal, couple of arrests for breaking and entering. Okay, that was a cop, financial affairs, died 2 years ago. Mom got health issues after a doctor scandal. Gay, in a relationship, never discloses information at work. So it can be either of those for these guys. Let's check this. This is one of these things that killer left messages on chalk at a crime scene. What is this lady? Escaped from Argentina when she was young, lost her parents to the Argentinian junta process. Okay. Move this somewhere. Let's move that over there. Let's move this over here too. Time is up. How does that connect with her, though? How does that connect with her? Are these the victims? Pretty sure these are the victims. Look at this. Okay, let's go back to this here. New documents. There's no new documents. That's all we've got so far. Let's look at the board. So we have here justice. So this is crime scene 1. Can we move her around? No. Crime scene 1. You deserve this. So, hold on. We have 1 bullet in the neck. Well, who's the only guy with the gun? This guy's the only guy with the gun. Maybe. Let's put this here for now. Let's put that here, because he might be that. Killer knew the victims or researched them. Well, who the fuck could do that? This guy was a cop. Okay. He was a retired cop. Medical examiner and researched them. Retired cop, well-known lawyer. Okay. Homeless man with an unknown background. I don't know about a homeless man being fucking researching people. Cop in Paris, so this could be almost anyone too. Death is equal to execution, no sign of violence. Okay. I don't think there's anything here for me right now. There's nothing. Nothing more. It's in the night. Can I do anything? Can I scroll? No. Alright. So we got really nothing. You wipe a heavy hand. With the heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You open the sofa bed and lie down. Events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed, your body aches, and you are in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. It looks awfully empty, and you are sure this is the best. It's too soon to say. You shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. A second later, you're asleep. Yeah, so we really got nothing on the guy yet. We got a bunch of stuff connecting to... I'm not sure if are those the victims? Or are those the killer? The killer. Or no. Oh, fuck, I don't know. You open one eye. It's pitch black outside. Time for work. You get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Night 2. Alright, so we have some guys that we can go look at here. Should we go fuel up on gas? Nah, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. Let's go to this lady right here. You start questioning her about some of this bullshit. See if she knows anything. Salim Wadian. Hey, that's actually taking me to like... Yeah, okay. We can do this, sure. Sure, bitch. Saint Clan. Alright, let's go to Saint. You immediately recognize the passenger who just climbed into the backseat of your cab. Her face has been plastered all over the news for the last few weeks. He's a lawyer. A lawyer who is representing a terrorist. He gives you an address and you start driving. He holds your gaze in the rearview mirror like he's trying to read your mind. You drive across the virtually empty Paris. Behind you, the lawyer nervously consults his notes. We gotta start asking questions, right? Let's start with, yeah, we gotta start asking stuff. He answers without looking up. Yes. You get the message and leave him alone. You continue driving without saying a word. Your passenger mutters, "Ugh, why did he have to say that to the cops? He's not taking this seriously. Doesn't get it. Idiot." Then again, he says it again. It is contradicting himself, or you glance in your mirror, the lawyer looks at a smaller version of himself. Say nothing. Your eyes meet with the rearview mirror. You see him start to break. I can't take it anymore. He takes a deep breath. He loses control of his voice. This guy's a real asshole. He's not just a monster. He's a total idiot. Okay. Tears form in the corner of his eyes. I've never seen such a moronic defendant. You know what it's like to defend a moron? You know what it's like to get only 3 hours of sleep a night so you can defend a fucking moron? Do you have any idea? He yells so loudly the windows shake. I'm sorry. When he answers, his voice is icy cold. No need to apologize. There's nothing to be sorry about. He pauses, barely, just in time to take a deep breath. Jesus effing Christ already! He kicks the seat in front of him. Jesus! He calms himself down. He steadies his breath. I'm the one who agreed to it. I actually fought to represent him. It's my own damn fault I'm being dragged through the mud. He raises his hand, snickers. Yeah, I admit it. At first, I thought it was pretty great. Being on TV, all the interviews, journalists asking my opinion about everything. I shook so many heads, said so many words, sentences, yet I actually said nothing. When I worked in the hood, not a single person cared about my work. And now in 5 hours, I have to be on the radio. In 7, on TV. He pauses, breathes. His voice sounds further and further away. You should get some rest. He chuckles. Rest? No way. Actually, it's simple. I almost never sleep. When I lie in bed, I stare at the ceiling and go over evidence in my head. He sits up. It's barbaric, disgusting, so horrific, it's almost unreal. He lets out a sigh from somewhere deep in his body. And then I discover my client bought nails. The nails that were in the bombs at the corner market, and he kept the receipt. He's kept the fucking receipt. Folded it in half and slipped it into his wallet. That's when I close my eyes, disemboweled bodies and a receipt for €2 worth of nails. Why? He raises his voice quite high. Why, for God's sake? He thought he could expense it when he got to heaven? He pauses. So stupid and so dangerous, he disgusts me. He revolts me. Why defend him then? No, someone has to defend him. That's exactly what I told myself when I agreed to represent him. It's exactly why my firm is losing clients every day. It's exactly why people insult me and spit on me in the street. His fit of rage subsides. His fingers are shaking. When I signed on, I thought I'd be representing someone crazy, and I found out he's just a moron who played too many video games. The guy's never even read the holy book they use to justify their so-called acts of martyrdom. He read a few passages online. Do you have any idea what a complete moron he is? He chuckles. I'm sorry. I truly am sorry. I shouldn't have said all that. He takes a deep breath. I don't have anyone else to talk with about it. All the other lawyers avoid me like the plague. My mother can't understand why I'm doing this. She's so ashamed. She went back to Algeria. He is shaking. I get the shame. What I don't get is why people just lump things together. I am not a terrorist. I am not a murderer. He's a terrorist. You made the right choice. No one else would do it. He's a terrorist. Yes, and that's why we need to do more. To prove all these extremists, these terrorists, that we're better than them. That alone keeps me going. Because let me be frank with you. His voice is suddenly extremely calm. We could hang him right here, right now, and no one, I'm telling you, would shed a tear. He stays quiet for a moment, catches your gaze. That's why I keep doing this. He slows his breathing. For equality. Our country was founded on it. These rights have been abused far too often for me to look the other way. His anger seems to be lifting. The taxi has almost reached its destination. In the back seat, the lawyer is much calmer. His voice is soft. I need to be reminded of this. This will serve as a lesson. He looks at you in the mirror and bores you with his gaze. It's odd, isn't it? That I ran into you tonight. I mean, as if... No, forget it. You pull over. He pays his fare. Wait, don't take this the wrong way, but... He hands you another bill. Here, this is for you. For listening. For hearing what I had to say. You slide the bill into your pocket. He looks relieved, gathers his belongings strewn across the back seat. And as he's getting out of the cab, you realize he left an envelope behind. For a second, one tiny second, you hesitate. It could be something important. Say nothing. He gets out of the taxi, walks a few steps away, and turns around to wait for you before entering the bistro. I got a clue, bitch. You turn around and grab the envelope your suspect left behind. You'll open it when you get home tonight. You drive off. Alright. So we got 16 big ones. We got a tip of 5 monies. Just probably from listening to the fucking guy. Thanks, dude. What the fuck is this? Let's go here. What is this? What am I looking at here? A few cars headed towards Paris. Probably... What? You park a few street... What? What? What just happened? We got this lady. We got some fucking asshole up here doing something. And we got fucking you. Got you there. Let's go to this lady, because she's like right here. It's literally like a street over. A couple streets at least. We have plenty of gas, we'll be fine. Metro Victor Hugo, please. Fare. Fucking, alright, let's go. Taxi. Passenger gets in the cab, gives you her address. Her voice is muted, far away. You start up the cab. She appears rather meek, subdued, like she's about to fade away. You look up at her. She returns your gaze, but she's not there. As if you weren't looking at an actual person, but a silhouette instead in the shape of a human being. Everything alright? Your question surprises her. Yes, I'm fine, thank you. Her eyes in the rearview mirror tell another story. Music? Music? She pauses. I don't know, if you want. She breaks off again. What kind of music do you have? Whatever is on the radio. I never listen to the radio. I don't really know what's any good. Maybe. She seems to be weighing her options. Jazz. Bachelor looks at you for a moment or two, clearly surprised. Jazz? She hesitates, thinks it over, and nods at least. You press the search button for the jazz station and eventually find one. The droning trumpet getting all worked up, accompanied by drums and a bass. You've never really understood jazz. It's funny. Music like that is so impenetrable. Would you like me to change the station? No. It's fine, really, I like it. My thesis supervisor listens to a lot of jazz. With time, I began to like it too. Your thesis? Yes. Not another word. She turns her head slightly as if thinking about something unpleasant. What's the subject? The progressive nuns of Rance Abbey at the dawn of the industrial era. There the cab seems icy. Sounds very specific. Extremely. Too much so, no doubt. My field of research is terribly limited and, how should I put it? She sighs. It's deadly boring and a subject that no one's interested in. My thesis supervisor for a start, my parents, my ex, and all the worst, even me. She stares at you. The subject is a trap. It's never been explored, and it informs our perception of women in the 18th century. But no one is interested in it. That's how it goes. I got used to my thesis to the subject. Whoa, I'm fucking up this dialogue so bad. Doctoral theses are rarely interesting, you know. But mine, I think I've hit rock bottom. It's a useful subject, isn't it? Her eyes widen. No, definitely not. I still wonder how I ever believed it wouldn't be such a colossal bore. She hesitantly lifts a hand. But I'm the one who chose my thesis. Good God, I can't speak. I can't speak, me and no one else. To be honest, it will no doubt be the only thing that remains of me when I die. What if you tried something new? Something new? Like what? I have no practical skills whatsoever. Do you know how to drive? She stares at you. As a matter of fact, yes, I do. Then you could drive a cab. A brief pause. I see what you're hinting at, but I don't think I'll be able to do it. I'm sure your job requires more than driving skills. I'm not very good with people. I wasn't either at first. And then, day after day, I got to know her. Sorry, this is me. And then, day after day, I got to know people better, to understand them. Something you learn. She lowers her eyes. I'd like to believe you. Taxi driver. It's just an example. There are dozens of jobs that don't require any particular skills, as you said. You have to give it a go. Try your luck. Talk a little more about yourself. Change the subject. Apparently she likes me. Before I did this job, I thought I was no good for anything. Then someone gave me a chance, trained me, gave me. You break off. The young woman is visibly moved. Unshed tears glisten in the darkness of the cab. Sorry. Don't be, it's nothing, it's me. A wide smile tugs at the corner of her mouth as if she enjoys the thought of seeing loathsome people suffer. My parents think. Her voice falters. She is unable to go on. It takes her a few seconds to pluck up the courage to speak again. My parents think I've made a mess of my life. I know they do. They haven't said so, of course. They are there for me, they help me, but deep down they know it's too late. The jazz number on the radio has become distinctly more aggressive, almost dissonant. You briefly consider turning down the volume, then change your mind. I'm 28. I'm doing a doctoral thesis on 18th century nuns. My brothers went into top business schools and earned MBAs. They're married and have children. And me, I'm compiling pages and pages of information on nuns. You pull up the passenger's address, an opulent-looking building in the 16th arrondissement. What the fuck word? The young woman is perfectly still, seemingly paralyzed. Thanks. She lowers her eyes. I need time to think, but thank you for what you said. I don't often hear things like that. Thank you. She hands you the fare, then exits the cab without a word. Hell yeah. A moment later, she's walking away, heading towards her building. ... You sit there a moment longer, then start up the cab. Hell yeah, we got fucking 19 fucking big ones, boys. Alright. Who's next on the list? Who's fucking next? We got some fucking sack of shit. We got 2 sacks of shit. We got a sack of shit there. We got sack of shit. It's a fucking asshole. Hey, fuck, this is a big city. Fuck, Paris is big. Where should we go? Should we go to this guy? We can go to this guy. Maybe. Go to this guy. Go to that guy. We can go to this guy. Let's go to this old man. Let's go to this old dude. See what the fuck he's cooking. There's a taste in your mouth. Iron blood. 2 fingers on your lip. I was reading that. 16th arrondissement near on a... Okay, that's fucking so goddamn far, dog. But okay. Let's fucking do it. Before he even gets in your cab, you decide you don't like your next passenger's face. He looks like an old fart, like someone who's going to annoy you, make you angry. He gets in the back of the cab with a little dog that seems bad off. From time to time, it moans and yelps. Mother Thor, veterinary clinic, please. You start driving, unable to put a finger on the smell he brought in with him. It's still open at this hour? He watches you for a while, completely floored by the utter stupidity of your question. Of course, what are you thinking? His voice annoys you just as much as his appearance. I know this vet clinic well. I've been going since I was a little boy. Montellier's grandmother used to get treated there. He looks like he's at the end of his rope. And tonight she's going to... You can't finish his sentence. Something's holding him back. When he starts speaking again, he seems emotional, disturbed, mean. She's living her final hours in this world. Yet, you're pretty sure you can see a smile making it wait. Yet, you're pretty sure you can see a smile making its way across his face. She's been like this for 10 years. So yes, I know exactly when the clinic is open, thank you very much. You're thoroughly irritated by his tone, but he punctuates his sentences with a sigh. The kind of sigh that makes you want to break into tears. She's in pain. Or his voice sinks into sticky sadness. Morning to evening and all night too. She's in pain, and I hope she will soon be free from suffering. He pauses. For her own good. For everyone's good. He looks out the window for a second, letting his thoughts slip away. Sorry. He shrugs, pretty much ignoring you. Yeah, He doesn't finish his sentence. The dog moans a long, painful yelp. It resonates in the cab, and then you concentrate on driving on the road, the streets ahead. Good at that. You know how to turn off your brain. Follow the white lines, brake for red lights, go on green. In the back, the dog occasionally makes a little tooting noise. You think the strange smell must be coming from her. The passenger clears his throat. You like animals? Yeah. That's funny. You don't look like someone who... This dog is my whole life. She's the only child I ever had. She's my progeny. If you will. Do you believe in reincarnation? Maybe. I understand. It's an unusual idea. An Indian idea. Hindu. Very distant, exotic. His eyes cloud over for a second. I didn't believe in it before, of course not, didn't believe in it. But then I saw it with my very own eyes. Montelier, she's the reincarnation of Coco Chanel. Coco Chanel? Your passenger appears to be thrown off by her question. His voice booms. Coco Chanel, the most important designer in the history of fashion. A wonderful woman, a fighter. His voice suddenly gets softer. Montelier has her grace, same severity in her warmth. His eyes are moist. My mother knew Coco well. They worked together. Mother supplied her with some of the fabric she used. I met her several times. I was young at the time, but was already working in Mother's boutique on... He seems to have lost his train of thought. He wipes his eyes with the back of his hand. You let him be for a while. First time I saw Moutilier, I said, yes, it's Coco Chanel. She was the last one in the litter, but she already had such presence. Yes, that's it. Presence. And the illness has never been able to take it away from her, ever. That's great. The passenger chooses not to react to your remark. He looks away, uncomfortable with the conversation. He leans over his dog, whispers a few words in her ear. You can only make out the last words. Almost over. The veterinary clinic is just at the end of the street. Your passenger is getting impatient in the back. As soon as you come to the stop, he hands you his fare. Okay, come on, Montelier. You cease to exist, like you became a ghost. You watch the old man leave the cab with his dog under his arm. He walks up to the clinic. The automatic door remains closed. He freezes for a minute. As he's just about to turn his heels, the door opens. The old man walks inside. ... You open the window to air out the cab. You identified the smell being lingering with such the beginning of the ride. Mothballs. Your passenger just stepped out of an old closet. Cool air floods over your face. Take a deep breath. Got money. 15 big ones, bitch. Let's go. Should we get some gas? Nah, we're fine on gas. Where we going next? Who we going to see? Where we going? Who we see? Should we see this man? Let's go see this man. François de la Nerie. Turnus. Fuck, we're going way up there, homie. Holy fuck. It's 946 kilometers. I mean, we got the... What the shit for? It's a big-ass fare. Fuck it. You immediately recognize the next passenger getting in your taxi. You never watch television or listen to the radio. You don't read the newspaper, and yet... You know François de la Neferie's face. Polemicist, novelist, columnist, politician too, you think. Your passenger distractedly gives you his address. You start driving. Are you bothered by all these protest marches? His question watches over you. You forgot that during the day people were holding protests. I work nights. He doesn't know how to follow up. A moment goes by before he yelps. See? There's not much chance they'd come to protest at 3 a.m., man. It's not really surprising, actually. They want to make change, but only when it's convenient. Not during vacations, not on weekends, not at night. They make fun of us and other countries. France, the land of strikes, the land of protests and marches. This country is filled with jackasses, slackers, and simpletons. But they protest nonetheless. What do you mean by that? I mean, I think the buses are trained specifically to protest. Yes, they certainly do like to protest, but actually most people on strike just stay at home and don't work. Or you can get the slightest word in edgewise. Wait a minute. Before you can get the slightest word in edgewise, he starts in again. Take the United States, for example. They have no right to strike. It's do or die. Spit flies in his mouth and disappears somewhere on the back seat. And they didn't become the most powerful country in the world by going on strike all the time. He snickers. His notebook appears in his hand and he begins to write. Strike, protest, unrest. While businessmen and manufacturers are working around the clock. French people should be ashamed. I don't know where this accent's going. Take a look in the mirror and decide to change, to do something. They expect too much from life. They want to have their cake and eat it too, and to bite off more than they can chew. He catches his breath. Froth begins to form at the corners of his mouth. And meanwhile, the world keeps turning. While the strikers twiddle their thumbs, workers are working. No, struggling to get the job done, that's better. Idiotic protest marches, the Frenchiest thing and the stupidest. We have to look in the masses in the eye and say, you do not own the streets. You shall not wield them like weapons. He suddenly raises his eyes and looks at you. They're unfocused, and his complexion deathly pale. Say nothing. I once marched. It just came back to me as an old childhood memory. I can see it clearly, from Versailles to Paris. I can picture the banners, the songs, and the people's faces. There were so many of us. We got up at dawn, thousands of us, and we marched toward the capital. Our pure and wholesome voices rose up. His voice shakes a bit. What are you marching for? So protesting is okay then? You know, what were you marching for? It was a cry from the heart of the right for high-quality religious education while France was being crushed by the weight of socialism. We were being ideologically purged, completely decimated. It was the end of parochial schools. Parochial schools? Sorry, I'm dumb. The end of our culture as we knew it. His voice trembles. You win? Yes, we won. He remains silent. The passenger slowly sinks into a strange funk. He remains that way for the rest of the ride until you reach his destination. He sighs contentedly as you pull the taxi up alongside the sidewalk. Those were the days. It was a great time. The left was running the country. He leans toward you like he's about to tell you a secret with a smirk on his face. And I mean, the real left, eh? He pays, gets out of the car. You can hear him talking to himself as he walks towards the front door of his building. What a lovely night. Good luck to you tomorrow with all these protest marches. It's going to be a messy one. He's gone before you have time to remind him you only work nights. You notice a newspaper in the back seat. Your last passenger must have left it behind. Or the one before. You grab it and put it away. Could come in handy. You start driving. No tip? Man, fuck this guy. He give me shit. Fuck him. I ain't driving him anywhere anymore. I don't care who he is. Is that Santa? Yo, homie. Yo, we can go, but this guy's like right here. Fuck, should we go to Santa? Santa's literally right here. Fuck. Should we go see Santa? Fuck it, let's go see Santa. Fuck it. We're going to Santa. Champs-Élysées. Oh, dude, if you're French, I'm so sorry. I'm butchering everything here. I think, yeah. Alright. Alright, dude. Your passenger smells like beer. No, it's even worse. It's like every single fiber of his Santa suit has been soaking in a keg. Oh, come on. Dash away. His breath is 96% brandy. Your eyes are starting to sting. I'm parked somewhere near Champs-Élysées on shit. The name of the street is... His head is spinning, but he does his best to hang onto the door. Impasse, it'll come back to me. Go ahead and drive. You start driving, and silently wonder how to ask your passenger if he has enough money to cover the fare. You glance back at your passenger. He's mumbling to himself, but you can't quite make out what he's saying. Christmas is over. So why is he still dressed up? Say nothing. Passenger breaks the silence. Almost immediately. There's quite a party in your piece of shit little jalopy now, ain't it? You always look like you got back from a funeral, or you actually smile every once in a while. Every once in a while? Well, start smiling more. You gotta smile, kid. It's fucking sad if you can't smile in life, you know? I've got a secret for keeping a smile on your face. His voice lowers. He lowers his voice. He's confiding in you. After working my ass off all year long, I like to hit my favorite pubs. I get monumentally wasted. He coughs. Here in Paris, there's a bunch of bistros perfect for just an occasion. No one talks to you when they have white wine so dry it eats away at the inside of your mouth. And so many different types of brandy, pear brandy, cognac. He closes his eyes in delight. Sometimes I order just one eeny weeny beer to cleanse the palate. He's almost whispering. Okay. It's usually not one of them fancy microbrews there. He jumps. Oops, but don't tell anyone, okay? Just imagine if people found out Santa Claus thought the beer tasted like hiss. He laughs, a sparkling laugh. When he stops, it's just to throw out non-commonly. Anyway, you can't say anything anymore. Honestly, with all the trouble I go to, people should just leave me the fuck alone. All those fair weather activists, they still want their little snot-nosed miracles to get the latest stupid toy. Oh hey, speaking of snot-nosed kids, what is it with this manure pile of a new generation? 50 years back, you could give a kid a book and he'd go on about it his whole life, all starry-eyed. But today, little whiners, oh, what an eyesore. Fucking hell. They want to have it all, but they just don't like anything. They all have GSMs when they're 8. Those things cost a whole month's wages. How could you possibly make them happy after that? How? He's staring at you, waiting for you to answer. No idea. He raises his hand. At least you're honest enough to say you don't know, and I appreciate your honesty. He closes his eyes like he's taking a moment's rest. You want me to tell you what they really want? What kids want these days, sorry, I'm drunk. What kids these days want are machine guns and dolls whose hair you can fix. It seems to have calmed down for a second, but it was just an illusion. Speaking of which, both girls and boys like those dolls whose hair you can fix. He twitches his mustache in silence. Back when I still made toys for kids, I can tell you, they could care less about them. Couldn't give a damn. They just wanted to have fun, play, laugh, and forget their parents were losers. He leans over you, rife with anger. Fuck, that's the real problem, I'm telling you. Parents are losers. Idiots. Putting kids into this world, those guys haven't got a clue. Am I right? Or am I right? I mean, have you seen the states of the ice cap these days? Have you, huh? Because there's not much left of it. He pauses. No, I can't say it's all bad. I don't have many polar bears coming into my yard. Damn nasty beasts, vicious and mean. I'm not sad to be rid of them. He heaves a long sigh through his beard. Before, things were different. Tears formed the corner of his eyes. Shit, I can't talk about the past without crying like a little girl. He throws you a sideways glance. Don't need to stare. You don't even have time to react if he stares back into his rant. I remember you, you know. To tell the truth, I remember everyone, every single person. You were an angry one. So terribly angry. And your letters, your handwriting, holy fuck, they were hell to decipher. Don't worry though, the elves handle all that for me. You could hear the hint of disgust in his voice when he brought up the elves. Otherwise, I won't have time to do nothing. Yeah, you were just furious. It's like someone punched you in the stomach. Your brother was giving you hell. Something wrenching your gut. Man, what an... He suddenly thinks of something and stops talking. His gaze wanders outside. Yeah, anyway, let's talk about something else. Don't react. You feel relieved to have some distance from that subject. You can't forget the pain. You jump when your passenger suddenly starts talking again. Wait, I think we're almost there. Slow it down a bit, kid. He searches outside for... Say nothing. He glues his face to the window. It shouldn't be hard to spot. There's the sleigh and a couple half-dozen reindeer. He heaves a funny sigh. I'm sure it's like an alleyway or somewhere. All right, over there. Turn right. You obey and go up a street you were on a few seconds before. A few meters down, your passenger stifles a yelp. Oh shit! It was right here. Drive back around the block. You turn again. You're back. Your passenger is mumbling. I'm gonna have to get one of those thingamajigs. GPS. It helped me find my sleigh so much easily. You eventually pull over in an alley. No lights, a few empty office buildings, some trash cans that haven't been emptied for days. Kid, sorry about before. I didn't mean, to bring up any sore points. He pays his fare. Watch your back, kid. He gets out and slams the door. He slips on the wet sidewalk, grabs onto a street lamp with a heavy and awkward step. He clumps along the alley. Drive away. You turn the key and start driving again. You open the window for a second, hoping to get rid of the alcohol fumes. Something tells you they'll stick around for a while.
Alright, 59 cents. Or pennies. Or some shit. Six fucking dollars for all that. Alright. Fine then, dog. I see how it's gotta be. Should we get gas? Now we're fine on gas. Who the fuck's this Fabio? Let's go to Fabio. Let's go, Fabio.
A cigarette. You want a cigarette?
Distance? Fuck. How fucking far you going, homie? It's gonna take up the rest of my night. Make it snappy. Charles de Gaulle. Make it snappy.
The passenger who settles in the back seat could be a male model. He asks you to take him to Charles de Gaulle Airport. His voice is mild and pleasant. You sense your passenger wants to talk about the killer. It's simple. Since the first murder, everyone thinks they know something. Everyone thinks they saw something. And this passenger is no exception. You watch him in the rearview mirror as he adjusts his clothes, checks his breath, obviously primping. You drive people to the airport all the time. They bring along a suitcase or a bouquet of flowers. Your passenger doesn't have either. He's looking at himself in the rearview mirror. His lips part as he runs his tongue over his teeth.
Nothing stuck to my teeth, right?
You shake your head no. You wonder why he's going to the airport.
You're wondering why I'm going to the airport, aren't you?
No.
Don't be shy. I'll tell you anyway. But don't tell a soul. It's our little secret.
His voice had changed as if he were about to deliver a speech.
Women today are too smart for us men. Too smart. They're on to us the minute we try to hit on them.
He crinkles his nose as if he were a bald, bad smell in the cab.
There were dozens of books on how to get lucky, on how to score, but they all make the same big mistakes. Do you know what the mistake I'm talking about is?
They're all written by men.
I don't see why that's a problem. After all, deer don't write books on hunting, do they?
He smirks.
No, let me tell you. All those books about hitting on women never tell you where the best hunting grounds are.
A theatrical pause.
Airports.
Another theatrical pause.
It's brilliant, right? Women in airports are lonely, emotional, and available. On the street, they're always in a hurry. You don't have time. At the movies or the museums, they don't want to be disturbed. But at the airport...
He's clearly very proud of himself. He remains silent. He crinkles his nose and sniffs again.
Is it me? Was there a funny smell in your cab?
You sniff too. Sorry, I don't smell anything. He shrugs and then goes back on his monologue.
Personally, I prefer older women.
Let him talk.
Single moms who are at the airport to pick up or send their kids to their exes. They're wanting to get to at the... I can't even speak. They are waiting at the unaccompanied miner's counter to get information on about a late flight or a gate change. I walk over to the counter, look at the flight information, pretend to be worried. My sister, I say. I'm waiting for my little sister. She's never been to Paris before. I'm going to take her to the Louvre. She wants to work in fashion someday. She's already very talented. I hope everything's okay, that she has a good flight. She means the world to me. She's my half-sister, but I love her like a sister.
A smile. He takes another sniff, glances around the cab, then picks up where he left off.
The half-sister line works every time. Divorced parents remarried every time.
He bursts out laughing. Let him talk.
A word of advice, though. You have to get there early. Make it a day of it. Keep an eye on the domestic flights, the delays, the companies. It requires a little preparation, but I usually go home with 20, even 30 numbers. In 6 hours. Not bad, huh? Another thing, I wouldn't recommend orally. The encounters there are a disaster. There, you have to go back and forth between different levels. It's exhausting, and the neon lights, you ruin your eyes. No, Rose is definitely the way to go. The domestic flights terminal. He rubs his hands together. I can feel it. Today's my lucky day. It's going to be amazing. They're going to fall for me, big time.
You can't resist. You give a slight cough and say, "Excuse me, mind if I ask you a personal question?"
No, of course not at all. Anything to help you understand my game plan.
Do you really need to go through all of that? What do you do after all that? Do you realize you're told... What do you do after all that? Yeah, what do you do after all that?
After what?
After you get the numbers.
Ah, very good question. I rate all the women I talk to, give them stars on a scale from 1 to 5 according to appeal level. I go home and start sending messages, first to the 3 stars.
He drops his voice in knowing tones.
They're the easiest, the best looks, easy ratio. Same thing the next day with the 4 stars. They usually play hard to get. They see themselves as real beauties.
He sniffs with a look of disgust.
And then, the 5 stars, the day after that. Just leave them hanging a little to get them to doubt their own attractiveness. It's rule number 1 when you want to pick up women with my little strategy. Lower their sense of self-esteem.
The cab pulls to the drop-off lane. Your passenger pays the fare and exits the cab.
I'm telling you, you should take my advice. It's a piece of cake. You just need to come off with a little good line or 2. They all fall for it. It's really bizarre, that smell of shit that seems to be following me wherever I go.
He walks away. Under the sole of his right shoe, you catch a sight of a dark brown spot. The passenger disappears into the airport. You roll down the backseat windows and start up the cab. He stepped in shit. Oh, boys. Fuck, how long do we gotta go for? How long until I can... Oh, no, never mind, we're going. You know more about your clients. Check the fucking dope. I met Salim. Fucking cool. I made 110 big ones today. I stole his fucking documents. Fuck, excuse me? What are these balances? Holy fuck, homie. I lost money. I played Leone Jazz. Yeah, look. I really appreciated your attitude. Yeah. My attitude was pretty chill. I was pretty chill with her. Pretty chill. You've met Henry. Yeah, fucking this fucking old shit. He probably hated me. He's like, fuck you. You met Francois, who's fucking... Bitch didn't even tip me. Fucking, I've met Santa. Fucking Santa. Santa tipped me like 50 fucking cents. Santa talking about your brother. Fucking Santa. My profits today, I lost money on these fucking profits. I met Phil. Fucking Phil. Phil of the future over here. Look at him. Fucking, you ignored Phil. Okay, I ignored Phil. I see. I just let him go. I just let him do his own thing. That's what I did today. I lost cash. I lost some money. I lost like a fucking lot. I lost like 30 something dollars. At the foot of your front door, just behind a drain pipe, you notice an envelope. It's thick and heavy. You just make out your name, written in thick black marker on the front. Your real name. ... Take a deep breath and go inside. In the envelope, you find more information, just as Bosset promised. You lay them on the table. You take a few minutes to update your board with your new clues. You're suddenly overcome with a desire to sleep. Close your eyes, press your fingers to your eyelids, let out a yawn. You go into your bed and get to work. Alright, so we got some stuff here. We got Salim's files, let's look at these. Okay, what'd that give me? What'd Salim's file give me? Salim equal investigating the first 3 victims. Okay. So he's one of our suspects then. Killing new victims or research new the victims. Victim 1 protected by St. Ouen-Mer and the height, yeah. I don't know how that one is related. Message on the crime scene 1. How the hell is this related? Killer left message on chalk in 3. I gotta find these other assholes, don't I? Okay, so we found him though. We did him. We at least did 1. Let's go back to these clues here. We got this fucking thing. Picture of crime scene 4. What the fuck is that? What is that? It's like a fucking something. Not enough time. Oh fuck. Okay, so what the hell? Spent bullet case. I mean, maybe with him. Maybe with that guy. Let's keep these down here. Yeah, we don't really have shit. We have nothing on these fucking assholes. I don't think we can look at these. Yeah, I don't have enough time to look at them all. Alright. End the night then. Good night. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You slowly open the sofa bed and lie down. The event of the day runs through your head. The streets, the passengers, your faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed, your body aches, and you are in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. Glance at your investigation board. You hope to find more information tonight, even as soon as you wake up. Shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. A second later, you're asleep. Hey, we did pretty good though. We got some money. We just gotta not lose. You open one eye. Your attention turns to shouting upstairs, a door slamming. Typical. You get up quickly. A few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Night 3. It's night 3, bitch. We're here. We're doing it. Look at all these people. Do I need to look at one of these guys? Can I, like, check? Listen to the radio? Your finger is poised in front of the car radio. You're trying to find something to listen to. Listen to the news. You happen upon the nighttime news. In a vox pop about the judge, a bystander brings up the fact that the police still have not arrested the homeless man seen near the crime scene. You raise a brow at this bit of news. You didn't know that. As soon as the news is over, you turn off the radio so that the cab is silent. Alright then, so there's a clue.